Campfire flames transform simple ingredients into nourishing bread. Baking bread over an open flame isn't just for fun. It's a valuable skill that can turn what you have into a nutritious meal. However, always ensure you have the necessary ingredients and tools before attempting to bake. Here's how to do it safely and effectively. Subject: how to bake bread over a campfire. First things first. What do you need? Basic ingredients like flour, water, salt, yeast, along with tools such as a bowl, a spoon, aluminum foil or a tin pan, and access to a campfire are all you require. No special equipment is needed for this simple yet satisfying project. Let's start with the ingredients. Flour, about 3 cups will work for 1 loaf. Water, 1.5 cups to hydrate the dough. Salt, a teaspoon to enhance flavor and regulate yeast activity. Yeast, 1 tablespoon is typically sufficient. If you don't have commercial yeast, consider using natural leavening agents like sourdough starter. Remember that when foraging for wild ingredients or gathering materials in nature, always positively identify plants with an expert guide or field guide to avoid potential toxins and ensure safety. Subject: how to bake bread over a campfire. Step 1. Mix the dry ingredients. In your bowl, combine flour, salt, and yeast. Ensure all ingredients are evenly mixed to avoid inconsistencies during baking. It's crucial not to overlook this step, as uneven mixing can lead to poor texture and inconsistent rising of the dough. Next, step 2. Add water gradually while stirring with a spoon. Keep adding until you have a dough that's cohesive and easy to work with. Don't overdo it. Too much liquid makes the dough sticky and hard to handle. Aim for a consistency that's slightly tacky but not wet. Now comes the kneading. Step 3. Transfer your dough to a clean surface and knead for about 5 minutes until it feels smooth and elastic. Kneading helps develop gluten, which gives bread its structure. Skipping this step can leave your bread flat and dense, so take the time to do it right. Once you've kneaded, step 4. Let the dough rise in a warm place for about an hour. Cover it with a damp cloth to prevent drying out. Be careful not to put the dough somewhere too cold, as the yeast requires warmth to activate properly. Ensure your campfire area is well away from flammable materials and check local fire restrictions before starting any fires. After rising, step 5. Shape your loaf by gently pressing down and folding over several times until you have a smooth ball. Place it on a baking sheet or directly into the pan. The most common error at this stage is handling too roughly. This can release gases trapped in the dough, leading to a less fluffy loaf. Always handle bread gently during shaping for best results. Step 6. Preheat your campfire. Build an even bed of hot coals and allow it to smolder for approximately 15 minutes before baking. This ensures a consistent temperature throughout the cooking process, preventing uneven heating. Many people skip this step or don't wait long enough, which can result in poorly cooked bread. Always ensure you're following local regulations regarding campfires and use caution when handling hot coals. Now it's time to bake. Step 7. Place your loaf on a foil-covered pan or directly onto a heat-resistant pan if using one, positioned above the coals rather than in direct contact with them for indirect heat around 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. Let it cook for about 20 minutes, turning halfway through for even baking. A common mistake is placing the bread too close to direct flames, which can burn the outside while leaving the inside undercooked. Always use a pan or foil to protect your bread from burning and ensure even cooking. After 20 minutes, step 8. Check if your bread is done by tapping the bottom. It should sound hollow. If it doesn't, give it another 5-minute round and check again. This ensures that you don't underbake or overcook and burn the bread. Remember to always cook food thoroughly to avoid any potential health risks from bacteria. Once baked, let your bread cool for at least 10 minutes before slicing to prevent the steam from making the slices overly soft. A common mistake is eating the bread right away. Giving it some time to cool ensures better texture and flavor. Remember, always follow local laws when camping and preparing food outdoors. There's your loaf of homemade campfire bread. No special gear required, just a few key ingredients mixed with skill and care. Remember to gather firewood responsibly and build your fire in compliance with local laws and regulations. Always ensure that the area is safe for cooking and that you have the proper permits if needed. This method works every time you've got the basics down and follow all safety guidelines. Now, how do you know if it worked? A properly baked loaf will be golden brown on top and bottom, crusty outside, and fluffy inside. It should also feel light when lifted, indicating air pockets from the rising yeast. If your bread didn't rise much or came out dense, check for correct mixing, proper kneading, and sufficient warmth during the rising phase. Remember to follow local laws regarding campfires and always practice leave no trace principles by properly extinguishing any fire you use. Remember, baking bread over a campfire is all about getting the basics right and paying careful attention to detail throughout. Every step matters if you want that perfect loaf. Always ensure you have the proper ingredients and tools, and follow food safety guidelines to prevent any health risks. Enjoy this rewarding culinary challenge responsibly. This is educational only. Foraging, hunting, fishing, and trapping carry real risks and are governed by local laws and seasons. Always verify plant and animal IDs with an expert using a field guide. Follow your local regulations, and never eat anything you can't 100% identify. Let's dive deeper into the process of baking bread over a campfire. First off, start by setting up your fire properly. You need a bed of hot coals to achieve even heat distribution. This takes time, around 30 minutes after adding kindling and wood to your fire pit. The coals should be glowing red hot but not producing much flame. Now, let's talk about the dough itself. Once you've mixed all your ingredients, you need to knead it well. Kneading develops gluten, which gives bread its structure. Aim for around 10 minutes of kneading by hand to achieve a smooth, elastic dough. If you're short on time or energy, consider using a food processor or stand mixer with a dough hook attachment. Just remember that in a survival situation, these tools might not be available, so knowing how to knead effectively by hand is crucial. Next up is the rising phase. Place your kneaded dough in an oiled bowl and cover it with a damp cloth. Find a warm spot away from drafts, but not directly next to the fire. It's too hot there and can kill the yeast. The ideal temperature for yeast activation is around 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 degrees Celsius. If you're in a cooler environment, consider placing the bowl near your body or inside an insulated container to maintain the right warmth. Once risen, punch down the dough and shape it into loaves. This removes large air bubbles that can cause uneven baking. For campfire bread, simple round or flattened ball shapes work best as they fit nicely on hot coals and cook evenly. Divide your dough into equal portions, roll them into balls, and then slightly flatten to create loaf shapes. Ensure you have the right tools for handling hot coals safely, such as heat-resistant gloves and long tongs. Always prioritize safety when cooking over an open flame. When you're ready to bake, preheat a cast iron skillet or Dutch oven over the bed of coals. Place it face down above the embers for about 5 minutes until hot. Then flip it upright and set your loaves inside. If you don't have a skillet, use an alternative heat-safe container like a baking dish or pan. Never use rocks from a fire pit as they can contain contaminants and pose safety risks. Always ensure any cooking vessel is clean and free of debris before using. To test if your bread is ready, listen for that distinct crackling sound as the crust forms. This happens when moisture in the dough vaporizes due to high heat. Also check by gently tapping the bottom of the loaf. It should sound hollow when done. If you're unsure, turn off one side of your fire and place a lid over the skillet to trap residual heat for slow cooking. Remember to use appropriate tools like heat-resistant gloves to handle hot items safely and ensure even heating without burning the bread. Remember, baking times vary based on conditions. A small round loaf might take 20 to 30 minutes over a campfire, while larger loaves could need up to an hour. Keep an eye on it. Baked bread should be golden brown and have a slight sheen from oil or butter if used. Always ensure the bread is thoroughly cooked through to avoid any food safety issues. Cooling is indeed vital. After removing it from the heat source, place your bread on a wire rack in an area protected from direct sunlight and breezes. This lets steam escape properly without causing moisture to condense back onto the crust, helping maintain a crispy exterior while allowing the interior to soften. Remember, always practice fire safety when cooking over a campfire, and ensure you have proper permits for any open flames in designated areas. And here's a tip for next time. If you're in an area with fluctuating temperatures overnight, consider baking during milder hours like early morning or late afternoon when ambient conditions are more stable. This reduces the chance of sudden temperature drops affecting your dough's rising and ensures better final bake quality. Just remember to check local laws and regulations before setting up any campfires or cooking areas to ensure you're following all guidelines safely. In short, patience is key. Don't rush any part of this process, especially when it comes to letting your dough rise and monitoring the baking time. Each step builds on the last to ensure you achieve that perfect campfire loaf, a warm, crusty treasure from a simple mix of ingredients cooked over an open flame. Remember, always follow local fire safety guidelines and ensure you have permission to build a campfire in your chosen location. This is educational only. Foraging, hunting, and fishing carry real risks and are governed by local laws and seasons. Always verify plant and animal IDs with an expert, follow your local regulations, and never eat anything you can't 100% identify. Let's talk about the actual baking process now. Once your dough has risen to perfection, it's time to start building your makeshift oven.